I have to be honest, in all my years of watching football, I don't think I've ever really seen such a disrespectful level of squad selection as I saw for yesterday's game in Portugal. Now that might sound a bit kind of harsh or a bit too much because there are first team players in the squad and so on. But just be sort of fairly clear, right? That squad was a mix of fringe players. Whether he likes it or not, for me, Harry Winks is a fringe player. He's not going to walk into that first team on a regular basis and one of the players that you would kind of be expecting to leave. So, I don't believe that he's a first team regular. Lo Celso, still to prove himself, in my opinion. So still a little bit of a fringe player. And then you've got players, okay, Ben Davies, very experienced and so on. So, yeah, okay, I'll probably give you that one. But then when you look at the rest of it, it was made up of brand new players coming in. Your Brian Hill, Romero, and so on. First game for Tottenham, yeah, you'd kind of think that's the kind of game you'd want to start getting those guys put into, so get that. And yes, you want to put some youth in as well, so, your Dane Scarletts and Jack Clark and, and so on and so on and so on. But you don't put them all in together, surely, or you at least have some proper first team players on the bench that you can call upon if things don't go quite right. My personal point of view has always been get out there, win the game, then bring in your fringe, then bring in your bludger youngsters and all that kind of stuff. Because you've got to win the game first. That's the object of this, right? The object of all of this is to win the game. And I said this in the previous video, we were 7th in the Premier League. 7th. So we are not elite, super duper, who should expect to go to any club and just win. These guys were 5th in their league. Now you might say the Portuguese league is tin pot, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But this idea that every club, apart from your club, are below you is outdated. Every club deserves to be where it's at through its application, its work ethic, and whatever that might be, right? And any team in any country at any level can give anybody a good game. I've watched years of watching England when they went off and played international games, and every team stepped up a gear because it was England. So if you're playing in the lower levels, that doesn't mean that you're crap and that everyone's just going to roll over for you. So you can just bring in, Bob down the road or him out of the youth team or whatever. You can bring those players in, but you don't bring those players in for the whole thing, to take the whole on. I literally do not get that. And, I'm no football manager. I understand it, right? And there are people out there far cleverer than me with all this kind of stuff. But it just doesn't make sense to me. You've got other fringe players out there. You've got other players who you could have brought in that would have done a bit more. These are professional athletes. These people are fit. You tell me that they can't fly to Portugal, play a game of football and fly back and then be able to pick up another game a few days later. Come on. I'm going on holiday on Monday. I'll be flying out late in the afternoon. I'll be landing late at night. I guarantee you I'll still be out drinking until stupid o'clock, and I'll still be up early in the morning to catch that morning sun. and I'm no athlete, right? So don't tell me a fully athlete at his peak cannot play 2 games in 3 or 4 days whilst travelling to bloody Portugal, which is what, how many hours on a flight? 2, 3? I don't know, whatever it is. Never been. So for me, all that's just excuses, and I just cannot understand why someone like Delhi is not in that squad. You know, someone like Delhi who's been off all summer because he wasn't in any internationals, who's desperate to get his form back. Why is he not in that squad? You know, to kind of lead it, if nothing else, to give these guys a little bit of, you know, something. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And I personally think it's disrespectful to the competition to just expect to be able to go over there and just win this game just because it's a team that no one's ever heard of, you know? So, I don't know. So I'm really, really disappointed, I've got to be honest, because, as I said, I want to win every competition that my team are in. And if we're not going to win the competition, I want them to go as far as they can to put something in it. There'll be teams dropping into this, tougher teams than this team. And if you're just going to fanny about it and play around the edges, then what's the point? You know, winning games leads to more winning games, you know? And I just think this was a bad mistake, Nuno. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with you. I think you should have at least had some first team regulars in that squad, if not on the pitch, at least on the bench. But me personally, I'd play a stronger team. I'd get them out on the pitch, get the game won, then bring your you know, your youth in, or your new players, or your fringe players, or whatever, you know. And I have to say, you know, Cameron Carter-Vickers, you know, that guy's been on more loans than bloody anyone that I could ever think of, you know. So what is he doing? I mean, if you're putting him in the shop window, you know, all you've done is dropped all the values of these players because they were poor. So, I don't know. Disappointing, but there you go. What can you do? We're not in charge. We just support the team. But another disappointing night. Let's hope that we can pick it back up against Wolves, and then we take it a little bit more seriously next Thursday and show up like the team that we're meant to be. Up the Spurs.